Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, March 24th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Real quick, a couple of clarifications. Number one, the price you see over here will be moving around and changing, and the candlestick you see right there will also be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time, but I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, BOXD. And did this one in yesterday's top 10 video. And I think that the price just yesterday was down below that breakout point there, but you can see it got the gap up today and a very, very impressive move. So certainly updates need to be done here. So I'm going to go ahead and delete these lines out as they serve their purpose for now. And the new key level that I think a lot of people are watching, and when a lot of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want. It can certainly produce some very dynamic movements. And that's that area right up there at 37 cents. You can see the price got up there around the journal area several times, could never quite push through it. Other than that, one instance right there where the price quickly then returned back below it. So like I said, from a, breakout self-fulfilling prophecy type point of view, definitely keep an eye on 37 cents. I should note that just because the price breaks through 37 does not mean that for sure guaranteed the price is going to go upwards. My point is that it's at least a valid, it's at least a plausible thought process to have. So keep an eye on that if you do like to play breakouts. In terms of areas of support, and if you like to play more so pullbacks, then you have an area down there at 25 cents. You could get a little bit more aggressive there at 32 cents. So that's where it's going to come up to your personal preference there. But like I said, the most intriguing level in my opinion is all about 37 cents. So let's see if this momentum can continue into Friday. Next one, SQ got demolished today with all the news and the what was it, Hindenburg or whatever, that issued that short report on it. So certainly a very interesting dynamic here, and I think a level that a lot of people will be watching, myself included, is all about this area right down here at $60.50. And in my mind, that's a very important level because I'm not saying this will occur, but if it does, if the price does come down to that level and continues on down, what would that be doing to the price? That would quite literally be putting the price right back to where it started before the nice bounce that's underway. And not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that go back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine power or true strength. On the flip side, though, let's say the price comes down here, because to be fair, nothing can go straight up, but comes down in this area and instead behaves like that and then starts to work its way back upwards. Now, all of a sudden, what would you have? Well, you'd have a set of lows right there. You'd have lows right there. And if you envision each of those as stair-steps, you now have stair-steps making progress in the upwards direction. And that's what a truly strong move is going to do. It's not going to go straight up, but it is going to just show signs of progress. And again, in this situation, quote unquote, sign of progress right there at $60.50. So keep an eye on that as far as supports are concerned. In terms of areas of resistance, the level that I'm very curious about, if it can get back up to that area right up there at $64.50. So keep a closer eye on that. But yeah, no doubt about it. Huge volume today, huge volatility. So let's see how it carries into Friday. Next one here, COIN coin, and same exact premise that I just talked about, which is why I wanted to put it back to back so I don't have to repeat myself. So let's first talk about the quote unquote progress point. Again, same logic. We don't want to see the price going right back to where it all started. And in this situation, the progress point in my mind, right down there at $64.35 cents. So 60 doesn't really matter. 64, 34, 64, 35. It's 1 penny. Probably not. But 64.35 going to be the level that, again, is going to show, is the price showing signs of progress, or is the price going back to where it was in terms of areas of resistance? Key level that stands out to me right up there at $68.50. So keep an eye on that. But like I said, same exact idea. Beat down today, showed a nice bounce. Is this bounce got genuine power? Let's see if it can show some signs of progress. Next one, MULN. Talked about this in yesterday's video and how it was at the bottom part of this falling wedge pattern, so it became a very interesting scenario. And, the question being, okay, is there going to be some sort of bounce? And that's why waiting for confirmation can definitely be a good thing, because no, there was no bounce. In fact, it broke down through. And to be fair, it is trying to work its way back upwards. You can see a set of lows there, a set of lows right there. So certainly more work that needs to be done, but I did want to get a couple things updated. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these lines here, because in my opinion, the most straightforward way to measure this one right now in terms of, is this chart going to show any sorts of, genuine strength? All about that purple line, 50 period moving average. I mean, you go back through the history of things, and in fact, let's just squeeze this down and you'll see exactly what I mean. So you can see ever since the price fell below that level, there's been an instance there, rejected, fake breakout, rejected, fake breakout. So my point here is that even if it does get above that 50 period moving average, I would still be pretty skeptical because there is that track record of also fake breakouts. But in terms of, are the bulls back? Is there genuine strength? It's all about that purple line because, sure, the price can bounce. Sure, the price is bouncing right now. But like I said, I would be skeptical because for all we know, it's just a dead cat bounce as it's been several times. And I don't think anybody would be shocked to see this thing roll over and put in new lows again. So yeah, good little bounce. Is there any sort of genuine power behind it? I'm not convinced of anything as of now. Next one, AMC, which all things considered, good quality day. And I say that because the last 30 minutes previously on AMC put the price down below that red line. And as I talked about in yesterday's video, there was the big threat of, oh, is this price going to drift right back into this former range, where it already was, which goes back to that talking point of price movements with genuine power are not going to go back to where they were. But to be fair, this level has held, so I'm going to change this to green to represent more so a level of support that you want to see hold. And so far, so good. It is indeed holding strong. You can see that there is the gap up this morning and then this pullback here, but you can see green line, Altman did a good job of holding strong. So that remains the key level moving forward right there around $4.37 because, again, if the price does return back to that area and then breaks down through there, it's putting the price right back inside of that range where you just don't want to see it go. In terms of areas of resistance, I think the level that a lot of people have now drawn is that trend line right there, which brings about, self-fulfilling prophecies and all that sort of good stuff. So if the price can work its way back up to that trend line, does that guarantee anything? Of course not. Does it make it valid to think that that could create additional buying pressure? Absolutely. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency to manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. But one special note, it is a genuine live event. So I understand as somebody that's got 5 kids, if you have something on your schedule already, hey, I understand. Or maybe you're just watching this Friday morning and you completely missed it. Go ahead, drop me an email to clay@claytrader.com, and I'd be happy to send you a replay to it. All I ask is the event first does need to happen, and then after I get it uploaded, then I'd be happy to send you a link to it. So if you can make it live, definitely get signed up. But if not, go ahead and drop me an email. Next one, FRC, and this will mean a bit more to those of you that watched yesterday's video, but I've been talking about this green line here that was very important at 13.50, and you can see the price broke down below it this morning. So at this point, that's where a basic rule in charting comes into play. When levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance, and you can see this played out absolutely perfectly. So I'll turn this into a quick plug. Get signed up for the class. I mean, classic example of that support, then turning into resistance as the price bounced, and what a coincidence, got rejected right at that level. So keep an eye now if there is any sort of near-term bounces right there at $13.50. If the price can break up through there, then I wouldn't get too excited because not that far away is then you have that 50-period moving average looming up ahead there. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level as it's served its purpose for now. In terms of areas of support, let me get my ugly mug out of the way. There we go. Very, very straightforward. The price is now sitting at those lows from several days ago, right down there at $11.50. So you can see right there and then right there. So you got to think that a lot of people are watching that level, longs and shorts and everybody in between. And if the price breaks below there, is that going to open up the floodgates again to the downside? Only time will tell, but those are definitely going to be the 2 main technical levels that I think most people are watching. Next one here, AMD, and got this one wrong. In yesterday's video, I thought, for sure, and that's why it goes so there are no for sure's, but I thought it was highly likely that the price would at least come down and test the bottom part of this pattern here. If not, probably break through it. And nope, the market gapped up. Granted, it did roll back over again, but still, from what I thought was going to happen, I got that wrong. I thought for sure that trend line would get tested, but that's where the first update needs to come into play. I want to extend this trend line up because it still is relevant, still pertains. In fact, right now, it's essentially overlapping that purple line there. So it's hard to see, but if you look closely enough, the green line and that purple line, which again is that 50-period moving average, essentially the same value. So keep an eye on that. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this trend line up here because now that we have more data, I think it's become very clear that the sellers are really hanging up right around that 102 mark. The price just could never maintain or sustain any sort of momentum whenever the buyers got up around that area. So sellers seem to have built some sort of fortress up there for now, up around 102. So keep an eye on that as that main area of resistance. And then again, that trend line down here as that main area of support. Next one, FFIE, a very bad day on this one. Price broke down quite a bit, had this pattern, but ultimately failed to the downside of the pattern, and then just picked up a whole lot of momentum early on in the day. And now as I speak, the latter part of the day, picking up not nearly as much of momentum as back here, but still a good amount of extra momentum right there that's kicked into play. So updates need to be done. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these lines up here as I've now served their purpose. But I think the most interesting dynamic here is in regards to this new trend line right here at that level, which puts the key support down there right around 37 cents. And 37 cents seems to have a very legitimate possibility of getting tested right there as there's momentum picking up. But that's all going to harp on the fact of, and the question of, okay, yeah, there was this little bear pennant. This bear pennant has been broken to the downside. So does that break down? Is it going to be able to generate enough panic and enough fear to bring the price down to that 37 cent mark? And if you're someone that likes to kind of buy those fearful moments, some would call it try to catch a falling knife, then yeah, 37 cents, could be very interesting based off of these data points both there and there. If there is any sort of bounce back in the upwards direction, first key level to watch closely is going to be up there at the 42 cent mark. But yeah, as of right now, looking like the bears have officially taken back over. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and not a whole lot of new things to report other than kind of just reiterating that the level that I've talked about several times now, namely that $200 mark, is definitely being very, very stubborn. The price never quite hit it today, but got very close right there. I guess I don't need to be that zoomed. Let me zoom in here a little bit. There we go. So you can see this morning, never quite hit it exactly, but got, within the general territory of it. So moral of the story here, $200 is going to be remain that key level that a lot of people are watching. So keep an eye on that. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that red line up there. Whoops, as it served its purpose for now. Let me try to... Never mind. I can't even grab it, but we'll keep moving here. So as far as levels of support are concerned, again, nothing new. You still have this overarching level down here right around 186.50. Although if you want to maybe potentially anticipate that level getting tested, and I think I am going to do this, I'm going to have a trend line in place and just watch this. Meaning if the price comes down there and breaks through there, you could use that as a leading indicator. Yeah, probably that green line is going to get tested, if not even break down even further. So change that to green. Again, that's just a personal preference, and I understand if you would completely disagree with that, but that just goes to show everybody's got their different strategies. So as far as supports, near-term level, that trend line could be useful, but from more of the overarching standpoint, keep an eye on 186.50. Next one here, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ market. So if you believe that the NASDAQ as a whole is going to go up, this one will also go up. Difference being this just allows you access at a much lower price point, which makes it a very popular ETF. And again, this will mean more to those of you that have watched past videos, but I'm going to turn this into, again, a quick plug here to get signed up for that training because the power of charts. I have not moved that green line, but wouldn't you know it, that green line is right where the price bounced this afternoon at $24.90. So are charts perfect? Of course not. Nothing is perfect. But are they a valuable tool that I would argue should be a part of any trader strategy? Absolutely. And again, we have more real life data of that. And if you don't believe me, I'm not offended. All you got to do is go back in the video archive and watch previous videos, and you'll see that green line in place there. So $24.90 has been that key area of support, and it was getting worrisome yesterday. That last 30 minutes, price poked its head below it. So it became a question of, is this thing getting ready to drop even further? But no, with the gap up, it held its own, rolled back down, and that's where the bounce eventually happened. So $24.90 remains that key area of support. In terms of levels of resistance, again, you got to think a ton of people have drawn that trend line right there. Nothing fancy. So once again, we have one of these potential self-fulfilling prophecy moments where if the price can go up there and get a breakthrough there, it's not guaranteed, but it's plausible to think that could cause more people to want to buy. But overall, it's hanging in. It's definitely, that $24.90 has seemingly built a good, solid little fortress down there. So we'll see if it can continue to hold. And if it does, can it generate a breakthrough that trend line? Friday's taking shape to be very interesting. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, then definitely get signed up for that free live training. But also, like I said, if you can't make it live for whatever reason, go ahead, send me an email, clay@claytrader.com, and I'd be happy to send you a link to the recording. But like I said earlier, just because it's a genuinely live event, it's first got to happen, then I got to get it uploaded, and then I'll be happy to send you a link. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, please do two things for me. Hit the like button, leave a comment below. Just say hi. Tell me what you traded today. Tell me what you're watching tomorrow. But those two things help out the channel. Let me know that you do enjoy it. And as long as I know people are enjoying these top 10s, then I will continue to do them. So again, get signed up for that class or just drop me an email. Hit that like button, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.